everyone. I'm Karen Chasson, Executive Director of the St. Petersburg Foundation, here with another episode of Impact Catalyst. My guest today is Darla Otey, who is the Executive Director of Girls Inc., Pinellas County. The mission statement of Girls Inc. is to encourage, and you can correct me if I get a little off, encouraging girls to be smart, brave, and bold.
You are so close, Karen, so close. The mission statement. So the Girls Inc. mission statement is inspiring all girls to be strong, smart, and bold.
That is a wonderful statement. Tell us how you manifest that in the program.
Yeah, and so what that looks like with Feet on the Ground, Karen, is that we help girls to see the power they have in and of themselves. It means that we work with programs that build their self-esteem, programs that prepare them for futures. And one of those areas is in STEAM. And so science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. What that looks like for us is every Wednesday in our after-school programs, we bring in a professional woman who's already leading here in the Tampa Bay region, and she encourages our girls to see themselves in her. And for us, that's a huge way of helping them to see that they can be just like the women in our area who are leading.
Interesting. Where is this taking place?
And so our current site is in Pinellas Park. And so our address is 7700 61st Street North. And an interesting tidbit, Karen, we've been there since 1961.
The same location?
The very same
Very
location.
So the national chapter began, from what I learned on your website, to help girls and women, young women who are experiencing upheaval after the Civil War. Just pretty fascinating. Tell us how that mission has sort of morphed over time.
Yeah, and that's a great word, morphed, right? One of the things that I like to point out, especially with regard to the very beginning of Girls Inc. back in 1864, is from its inception, Girls Inc. was absolutely innovative in terms of connecting women and girls. One of the very few organizations that way back in 1864 was integrated. So there were women who were African American, Caucasian, etc. Yeah, and for that time period, I mean, how forward thinking was that? Yes, and then as we moved through the 19th, 18th, 19th, and 20th century, we began to see the needs of women and girls change. As those needs changed, Girls Inc. grew. We started encouraging girls and women, again, as we shared earlier, to pursue careers of their own, to advocate for themselves, both politically and in the workplace and within the family setting.
Interesting. How do girls find their way to you?
So very easily, and one of the ways that you might imagine is word of mouth. But secondly, we reach out to all of our local schools that are a part of the Pinellas County School District and make them aware of the kind of programming that we offer. And our programming is twofold. We do a full after-school programming every day from 3 until 6 p.m. We go pick up girls from over 22 schools in our area.
Wow.
And then we do a full day summer camp. This most recent summer, we did a camp called Oceans of Fun Marine Biology, exposing girls to those kinds of careers.
I saw that. That's really interesting. Now, is that something that viewers of this segment could sponsor?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us about that.
Thank you for asking, Karen. One of the things that we do as a part of our programming is we offer scholarships to those families either who are struggling financially. We also offer scholarships to families that are a part of the military. So anybody whose family is current military personnel or active military personnel or retired can attend all of our programming free of charge. And so we depend on people to help sponsor that kind of programming.
Excellent. What do you see coming up in the year of post-COVID? How have you managed through this challenging time? Are you starting to get back into in-person work? How's that going?
Right. And so like many other organizations, we felt the full impact of COVID coming through our area. But one of the things that we learned through COVID, Karen, is how resilient and supportive our community is. And so I mentioned earlier that we have an after-school program. When COVID struck back in January, February, you'll remember that the school system closed its brick and mortar doors in March. Well, what we were able to do because of the generosity and the resilience of our community, we took 2 weeks off, retrained our staff, fully cleansed our facility, and we opened our doors from 6:30 in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening to all of the girls whose families were essential frontline workers, and we did all-day programming.
Wow, that's impressive. So how did that go? And how? I mean, that's truly winging it.
Yes, and it went as you might imagine, right? Initially, it kind of kicked and started, but what we learned was that our job as a community, as a part of this amazing Tampa Bay region community, was to really provide the kind of support that we were designed to provide. I mentioned earlier that Girls Inc. as an organization innovates, right? And so that's what we did. And it was a wonderful opportunity for, again, the families who still had to go to work, and many of those children would have been left home alone. The other thing that our community did that was absolutely amazing is, of course, that was a time when we all learned about Zoom and virtual programming, etc.
Right.
Well, through the Community Foundation of Tampa Bay, as well as the Pinellas Community Foundation, we were given dollars to completely retrofit our entire building. We built a production studio and made every single one of our classrooms smart so that the girls who could not come to us, we were still able to reach them virtually. And for programming and others that were outside of our facilities, they were able to stream programming in.
So in some ways, it seems as though you might have really even expanded the base of service that you're able to provide.
You're absolutely correct.
How many girls do you serve a year?
And so it varies, but over the course of the year, we typically serve between 400 and 500 girls.
Okay, that's quite a bit. Do you have kind of statistics on how many girls are kind of considered from high-risk backgrounds versus not? Does that matter? Is that there's an emphasis on that?
And so we do keep statistics on our demographics. However, our doors are open to all girls, as you might imagine, as our mission statement shares. What we have learned is because we are located in the city of Pinellas Park, we are serving a demographic that is generally a Title I school area. So our families reflect that particular area.
Okay. You mentioned plans for expansion. Tell us about that.
Yes, so that is so exciting, and thanks again for asking. One of the things that we've built into our strategic plan over the next 2 years is to open a site in Hillsborough County as well as in South St. Pete. That's exciting. We believe that the programming that we offer is impactful for girls right across the board, and we truly want to make a difference right across the Tampa Bay region.
So that suggests that you must have a pretty healthy funding scenario. Tell us how you're fundraising for this expansion. Does the national office help you? Are you getting all of your support just from regional resources, both private and philanthropic, corporate? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, and so what I will share with you, Karen, is that about 80% of our funding comes from right here in the Tampa Bay region.
Okay.
We are a very generous community, and so we have dollars that come through private and public foundations. As you might imagine, we also seek dollars through our corporate partners. Again, Tampa Bay region has proven to be extremely generous. And so, yeah, about 10% of our funding does trickle down through our national office.
Interesting. Are you looking right now for volunteers for women in STEAM to work with girls? Are you set right now? What needs do you want to share with the community right now?
Right. And so there are needs across the spectrum. Thank you again for mentioning women. right now we are filling up our annual calendar for what we call our Working Women Wednesdays. And that's when we ask local women who are in leadership to virtually join our girls for about 30 minutes on a Wednesday afternoon and talk to them. Share with them about their childhood, their education, their current careers. So again, the girls can be inspired to pursue their careers as well. And then other volunteers. We consistently get volunteers from our local universities and colleges where students are interning and learning not only to work with girls in the or youth for the early childhood kind of work, but whatever their career area of interest is. Right now we have one of the young ladies who works with us is pursuing a medical degree. So she's extremely interested in science, and she's helping the girls through their scientific experiments now. And then on the other hand, we also always have opportunities for volunteering within our facility, for painting, for reflooring, etc. And so those folks who are interested in those areas, that would also be helpful.
Interesting. Is there a mechanism on your website to donate, to sponsor someone for camp, to learn more? Tell us what your website is.
Yeah, and so our website is girlsincofpinellas.org, and individuals can find all of those opportunities right there.
So, a couple final questions. What drew you to the mission of this organization? How long have you been there, and what inspires you every day?
Thank you so much again for asking that. I have been working in the nonprofit field for about 35 years. And it's always been with youth. What drew me to Girls Inc. of Pinellas is that the whole mission is all about girls. And as I look back over my life, I recognize that if I had been inspired at a very young age, many of the roadblocks that I ran into, instead of becoming obstructions, they would have been stepping stones. And so I'm inspired to help girls grow where they are right now and to help them understand that they are enough. They have the tools to succeed.
Beautiful. Anything else you'd like our viewers to hear from you today?
Oh, of course, of course. So I would close by saying that every person can be inspired by the mission of Girls Inc. because we all know a girl, a woman, we have a sister, an aunt, and surely we all have a mom. So all of us can get engaged in inspiring our girls to be strong, smart, and bold.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.